Hi guys, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be talking about the progress of DarwinClaw. Start from technical engineering stuff. On backend side, we're still in progress in terms of doing our multi-instances B2B enterprise version of OpenClaw, which is exactly what DarwinClaw is going to be. And this week we actually implemented sort of architecture that we unfortunately had to reject. The reason is single point of failure. So we're trying to do maybe not the best ever system, but the system that at least will not fail in terms of like when used by, for example, up to 10,000 people per one bot, something like that. So for example, any company can have, I don't know, several hundred of employees or maybe thousands of employees, and they can have many bots, and each bot can be responsible for a specific thing, and each bot can have workspaces, personal workspaces for each employee, or at least for each involved employee. And yeah, so we're trying to make this architecture good in terms of like scalable, basically. Yeah. And the backend solution that we have implemented this week unfortunately is not good, because it has a router which is exactly becomes a single point of failure, and this router should route between users, like whenever they are like in, it could be any channel, WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever, and particular instance. And unfortunately we don't like the idea of one router, so we rejected it. And now next week I'm going to implement improved version of instance itself. So instance will actually able to handle all connections from any external channel. And so we have like as a benefit we have no single point of failure. And when something happens in production, it might be only that one bot among many bots failed. And it's much better than every single channel for every single bot failed. So an additional benefit of another architecture when instance is gonna handle all channels is basically we need less amount of memory, basically. So next thing is front end. On front end we have implemented the first draft version of visuals for the agents. As I mentioned before, it's quite funny and quite popular now when people add a like office, like visual office, and agents doing something in the office. So we decided to do the same thing. It's mostly it's not for real. I don't think anyone in reality will use this like on day-to-day basis, but it's very useful for promotion, for marketing, and so on. So we're gonna use it mostly for this. First version is quite ugly, but already fun. I probably add a screenshot. Next thing is we're trying to create more content marketing channels, and we had some issues with Reddit before. Reddit does not allow any sort of promotion by default, so we have a number of accounts blocked, and now we just kind of recreating new accounts, doing a recovery for the old accounts and so on, so in order to get prepared for upcoming marketing campaign when we will release DarwinClaw to general public. Just today I have applied to one startup accelerator, so I want to do it like probably in May, in the next month. I will do it more often, but it's the basics, in the main thing I'm looking for in startup accelerators is access to distribution channels. So basically, as long as DarwinClaw is a B2B solution, B2B enterprise product, so it's much easier to sell this product to existing channels, existing like customers you have. So for example, if you already have a B2B product for 10,000 customers, then this is what I call distribution channel. So you already have some channel where you can continue distributing your product, and we don't have it now. And I think it's much bigger problem than product itself. I mean, product in terms of engineering is important as well, but the ability to sell it, and that's what I call distribution channel, is much more important. And I have a list of specific companies and specific ecosystems that which do have access to big distribution channels. And yeah, I'm planning to contact all of them and suggest some collaboration, because I think this is the best option of selling B2B product, and especially such product as we plan to do. Okay, next is last week I joined a board of automation, or more specifically AIization, a board of AIization of one quite big company. I mean, it's not huge, it's about like they have revenue of $10+ million, and they want to implement things that we want to introduce inside DarwinClaw as specific verticals, as we call it. So in general, DarwinClaw is gonna be just same thing as OpenClaw, but for B2B. So the difference is that it's gonna have a layer of company knowledge and data, and plus individual workspaces that employees can use. So it's yeah, basically, yeah, that's it. And this one of the companies that I'm involved now in terms of like advising on how to move from low automation, and specifically in this case this relates not to general employees but only to development. And one vertical that we want to implement inside DarwinClaw when it's released is a development, like I call it cloud development pipeline or zero human pipeline. And that's exactly what we agreed to do inside this company. So it's going to be just kind of a pilot. We should be able to test our solution inside this company, and then get the feedback, improve on product, and then go to market with this new vertical product. Just to give you a quick idea of what actually I'm talking about, I mean, nowadays everyone in development uses ChatGPT. I call it this level 0. So basically you code something, but instead of like before you will go into Google or to Stack Overflow to get some to get to know some things, how to do things and so on, to get code snippets, code samples, whatever. Now I think everyone, like worldwide, they go to ChatGPT at least, or similar stuff like similar neural networks, and you do pieces of code there, then copy paste it to your code. Next level, like level 1, I call it, is when you use some integrated development environment with AI, with integrated AI. Basically, I mean, every single of them has such ability now. And like, for example, I use Cursor mostly. Unfortunately, many companies and many developers still don't use it for some reason. And what we want to implement in this company, which we call AIization in development, is next level, which I call level 2, is when you have a remote machine basically, which is driven by DarwinClaw with specific templates, and it can do, like, you just have a chat with this remote machine, and it can do literally anything in terms of development, starting from designing the product and finishing the testing of the product, and the middle is the development, right? I think the biggest benefit to this is, which I'm already using in my development, is that you can save not on man hours, like you're not saving the man hours as such, you're saving time to market. So for example, in one of the companies which I'm involved now, we have, for example, one designer, like 2 business analytics, and one front developer, 2 backend developers, and then testing. and usually implementing even simple feature, takes some number of days. Maybe fixing important bugs, can be done in sort of several hours, but implementing something new is, for example, designer waits for business analyst, then developers wait for designer, then testing waits for QA, and you need to manage this. And in any case, I was involved in many development pipelines in different companies, and the average timeline that I've was able to achieve on average is usually 3 weeks in terms of time to market. So basically, from idea to actually in production, tested in production, and the average of 3 weeks is actually quite low. Trust me. There are some cases in big companies where it takes, I don't know, average could be 2 months, 3 months, and so on, despite they all work like in agile environments, but it's still the case in number of months. Having development inside one environment, remote environment, where you have everything like designing things without designer, developing things without developer, testing things without QA, is actually quite beneficial. So we'll see how it works. At least we have a specific company which want to implement it, and I hope like in a number of months we will get some good results. Okay, I guess that's it for today, and see you next week.